Alrighty, guys, welcome to it. We're just in the loading lobby now for it, but welcome everyone to another edition of Seasonal Vainglory of the season that we got going on here. Unfortunately, today I will be alone. Belligerent got stuck at work, so you guys are gonna be stuck with me for a little bit. It seems like things are getting sorted out in the lobby, but today we're gonna have the University of Texas Arlington versus the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. So it's gonna be a butting of heads of the University of Texas here in the group. And kind of a tale of two different stories here, it looks like. UT Arlington is a team that has actually been with us since 2005. Their original CSL team was named Alpha Beta Delta, and they also played in a bunch of the Vainglory leagues, as well as they were ranked when they had the VIPL leagues going on as well, or the Vainglory Invitational Pro League, I guess is what it was called. Some of their old players moved on to play challenger teams and stuff like that, but they're looking pretty healthy in this group. They won their first game, and they have some good players and the good history, and they're looking forward to the rest of the season. Whereas Rio Grande Valley is on more of the kind of a team that was thrown together to try and compete in the season. They all had some background in Vainglory, but they also have more of a background in League of Legends. But it looks like, yeah, we're getting closer to go in there, waiting on some players to get ready. But yeah, guys, we're going to be here with Arlington versus Rio Grande Valley. Arlington is 1-0 already in the group in group play, as Rio Grande Valley is 0-1. So we got that going on, and it's going to be pretty exciting stuff to see here. After last week, we can see that this group is kind of back and forth when we saw that the University of Missouri Kansas City, who actually lost to Arlington, took a game last week. So we got some pretty close games happening in this division right here. And Arlington is pretty confident in their ability to get out of this group as well. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Just looks like we're waiting on some technical things here, though, guys, and it shouldn't be too much longer. There's a couple more things on here. Maybe let's see what else we got that we can talk about as we wait. We haven't seen any of these teams play, so it's going to be interesting to see what they want to bring out. We've seen some varying things. Some people haven't adapted to the new meta yet. 2.9 is kind of shaking things up a lot in Vainglory, causing people to search for not just what works for them, but works overall. So we're going to see today if people stick to that new meta of kind of shying away from the Black Feather and banning him a lot, and Rhyme really priority picks and stuff like that. We'll see how the bans go, though. It really could go either way, to be honest. Let's give a shout out though here too, because we still are having one person reconnect here. Our sponsor, obviously Twitch. Twitch has been a huge advocate and sponsor of the CSL, and nothing but love to them. They've helped us with events and streaming and pretty much everything in between, it feels like. So don't forget to follow Twitch on Twitter at twitter.com/Twitch, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Twitch as well. And hopefully we'll be getting into this game here. Looks like, yeah, one person is still reconnecting, but pretty exciting stuff here. Why is my stuff down? What the heck? Overlay players. What is people asking me? I'm so confused. But I'm going to throw back up the scores back up here real quick so you guys can see it. For Arlington, we got Mickey Tang, Family, and Motivus. And on the other side for UT Rio Grande. And Caster Cam, do you? I don't have anything like that. I don't know what he's talking about. That's really weird. Okay. And then we have Scrubbing Deck, Arhito, and 16-Bit Shinobi for the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley going on here too. Let me double check these, because Arlington, Rio Grande. Nope, man. Oh, the caster thing overlay. That's why. I didn't realize they put that up there. Haha, I knew I missed one. I'll fix it. Don't worry, guys. Da, da, da. There we go. Got it. Alright, but we're still waiting on one more player, guys, it looks like, to get back here. So now I have that updated properly. I was like, what is... There's nothing wrong. I fixed everything. Just kidding. It's fixed now. But yeah, we're just waiting on... Looks like scrubbing deck from the University of Rio Grande Valley, Texas Rio Grande Valley. So probably go with Rio Grande and Arlington is what we're going to call them when we get into this cast. But yeah, just one more player, guys, and we'll be off and into it. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see if the storied background of Arlington is going to be able to help carry them through this one of their second matches, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like they're going to invite Scrubbing Deck back, and we should be good to go here in just a second. Dan doesn't understand that you have to uninvite and reinvite people, apparently. So we're having just a second here, and we'll see how it goes. I wonder if he's having in-game issues. He's had a couple in-game issues with Vainglory recently. We'll see if that's still an issue or not. And it looks like we're just still waiting on one more person here. So let me see if I can get a hold of him so we can get this fixed and ready to go. Alright. Things should be good on our end. There is the re-invite finally. Now, the question is, will he accept it so he can continue on? Yeah. So, yeah, he's having issues. Alright. We're just having a little bit of getting our last player in the lobby here, guys, is all it is, and we'll be ready to go. It's pronounced Mikey? Mikey Tang? Okay. It's definitely spelled Mickey, but okay. Invite no longer exists. Feels bad, man. We're just having all sorts of invite issues right now, it seems like. Like, we're all ready to go. We just need one more person, so. Let's see here. Anything else we got in here we can shout out here? Let's see here. Nope, we're not really missing anything else, it looks like. Mickey is pronounced as Mikey. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. All right. Finally, he gets in. We were just having a little bit of issues with it, guys. He was just... Vainglory's a little touchy every now and then with some of the invites if you have to restart it all. So now we got everything ready to go. So we're going to be jumping into the action right about now, it looks like, as soon as everybody's all good to go. And make sure everybody's here. Yep, here we go. Into draft, guys. We are going to have, it looks like Arlington is going to be on the blue side to start things off. So we'll see what the bands look like here and kind of get a feel for what these players are really looking for or looking to play here in this matchup, as well as the 2.9 meta. And Glaive band comes out first. That's kind of an unusual thing to see, with Glaive getting a lot of nerfs in the most recent patch. Black Feather, not so much. Kind of a staple of banning and picking lately since the changes in the game. But he comes out as the first ban for Rio Grande, and Catherine comes out as the first pick. Catherine, again, one of those picks that was known for a couple patches as being super duper strong, and kind of fell off because of the huge nerf she took to her passive for stacking armor and shield. Her Captain of the Guard passive used to give her 2 stacks of armor and shield per stun or silence, and now it only gives 1 again. So Batiste picked up on the opposite side to try and keep that away from Catherine. The Batiste-Catherine combo is still really strong, and then they followed up with an Arden. Arden is a pretty safe all-around pick right now, I would say, for captains. Definitely one of the top tier with how the health changes worked. Very safe pick, but the Batiste pick I feel like was more of a counter pick than an instant kind of. That's what they felt like they were doing. I've seen more Batiste play from teams, but I haven't seen too much, so I feel like that's what it was instead of. Maybe it is one of their main heroes and they can make it work. It will be interesting to see as a Saw and a Koshka come out to round out the team of Arlington. So it should be kind of interesting to see what the last pick is here. And they're going to go with a Gwen. So Arden, Gwen, and Batiste is going to be the final pick here. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how things shape up here. We're going to transition over here. We're going to have, like I said, Arlington is going to be on that blue side to start things off for us. And then we're going to have Rio Grande on the red side. And here we go, guys. We'll see how this shapes up. It's kind of an interesting draft. Like I said, I wasn't exactly sure what people wanted to do. But we've seen Gwen favored a couple times now in multiple different games where we see Gwen picked up as the carry in lane. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to pull that off. And here we go, guys. First game of the day, of the series, of everything. After a little bit of technical difficulties, we are off and running into it. And we'll see how these teams want to start. Again, we've seen a kind of a collective of different strategies to start off the game. People like to either start backs as kind of the trend for a while, but now it looks like Rio Grande wanting to try and push up with all 3 members. They might try and go for the Elder Treant in the middle to start things off. We'll see. Looks like the push comes from Saw. Saw's just going to go to lane right away, and Gwen's going to have to respond to that. Team's kind of opposite starts here. Are they going to try and go for the Elder is the real question. It looks like they were thinking about it, and now they actually are going to commit to it. The Corlear's coming pretty fast from the side of Arlington, but Rio Grande should have this relatively secure. They do pick it up, and they're able to rotate out. So nothing too terribly crazy there. Gwen trying to poke out this Saw, but Saw doing Saw things. Saw is meant to push lanes, and that's exactly what he's been doing since the minions have spawned. He's just kind of sitting there. Feels very comfortable knowing that the other team probably had to rotate to their own back since they did not start at them, because they saw them leaving that Elder Treant. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if who takes aggression first here. Koshka already going back to make her next rotation. So both teams relatively content to farm here, it seems like. But that early pressure from the Saw lane is now pushing into the turret. And here comes the rotation out of Rio Grande. And it looks like Catherine's going to get stunned up by the Ordained from Batiste. And she might actually go down here. She's going to be able to back off. But Saw's in a rough position, putting out some damage. But he does have that roadie run to get out if he needs it. So he's going to sit there and just let them tank Catherine. And he did a lot of damage to the Arden in the meantime. So they were pretty well defensive there. It looked like it was a little bit rough because Catherine was stuck on her turret, but she's able to get out with her Merciless Pursuit. The movement speed buff from her A gets her out of there. And Saw just happy to continue farming right now, it looks like, as Koshka doing the same, making her rotation back. She's pretty close to that Aftershock as well. Looks like Rio Grande, though, after that rotation, were able to rotate back down and take another Elder Treant, it looks like. I might have missed it and Koshka might have gotten it, but The farm difference seems pretty heavy right now. And oh, the rotation comes in finally on the Saw, and unfortunately, that's the life of a Saw, is if you get caught out like that and get stunned up, there's almost no way out of it. And he gets caught for the first blood. No Catherine there to help save him, but he is fairly ahead on farm. He's actually 22 to 11 on farm compared to this Gwen. And Mikey Tang, as it's been told me how it is pronounced, is going to hold the lane for the Saw, so he's not going to miss out on too much CS. So he's going to be able to keep that healthy lead moving forward into the game. It looks like we're going to, on Family, he's ever so close to that Aftershock, and I'm sure once he's done with this last rotation, he'll have it. And it'll be interesting to see if he decides to make a move into the lane or into the enemy jungle here as he gets that Aftershock. But it looks like Rio Grande is gonna bring the fight to them. No, they're going for the other tree end again. There's a couple seconds left on that before it despawns. So Koshka sees out Arlington or Rio Grande, I should say. And Arlington is able to do Saw things and push that turret continuously. Kind of giving up is an odd thing there. I missed it with the camera. Sorry about that. But Saw doing exactly what they're doing. They're just pushing lane. They're not afraid of it. Koshka's there to kind of scout them out. And it's like, oh, just free push the lane. There's almost nothing this Gwen can do early without rotations from her jungle. And we'll see if there's an Ordain going to come out here from this Batiste anytime soon. But it looks like Arlington just completely content with just the push. They're already half healthing this tier 2 turret, and that last hit, oh wow, barely living with no health. Saw is there, and Arlington is gonna have to fall back here and reconsider what they're gonna be doing. But that's a ton of damage for 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. Having a half health tier 2 turret is really not the best scenario for Rio Grande. They're definitely gonna have to make some better rotations, and looks like they're getting Ordain on the Catherine, but Catherine's still relatively healthy. She's gonna be able to back out. The Shattered Glass is completed on Batiste. It's the first item, Shattered Glass, and unfortunately that Aftershock has yet to come out for the Koshka, but she does have almost 2,000 gold in the bank, so we'll see how long it takes before she goes back and buys. And Gwen is the poor soul in this event, where Rio Grande has kind of bodied people in jungle a little bit, I guess you could say, where Koshka has to stay away. But the lane push, look at those minion candies and everything we saw. Pretty well thought out strategy from Arlington, knowing what they wanted to do when they picked up the Saw, and they're using it to its full extent almost. Just keeping lots of pressure in the lane and stuff like that. But again, I'm waiting to see when this Koshka wants to come online. She's 6 now. Most players feel that once you hit 6 on Koshka, you basically go get a free kill because her ulti is that good. And he hasn't been looking for it, but here we go. Arden caught out here. Are they going to try and use the ulti and stuff here to block someone down? And there it goes. Finally comes out, and it looks like Arden is going to be the kill. As I was just saying, that yummy catnip frenzy from Koshka is just super strong CC. And even against someone as tanky as Arden, even though it's early in the game, goes down with relative ease when all 3 members of Arlington was there. And it's back to the push game for Arlington, it looks like. Koshka's there to help, and Batiste and Gwen can do nothing but try and wave clear. And they're not doing the best job at it, it seems like. They need to probably work a little bit more on that. And a huge jump in on the Batiste. Oh my goodness. He just got a little too far forward there and got blown up. This Aftershock Koshka does a lot of damage, and he still has no defense on this Batiste. Kind of wanting to clear that wave, it looked like, but he got a little aggressive and thrown out the Ordain, and Koshka, as soon as that Ordain is gone, instantly on top of him to kill him. Almost no chance for scrubbing deck there. And Arlington still pushing this lead and pushing the lane. That's what you do. Saw loves turrets, and Saw likes pushing turrets. This tier 3 is in a lot of trouble. Batiste taking a lot of damage again. Saw doing nothing but targeting the turret. Koshka goes down low. Aces High connects and kills him, but not before the tier 3 turret goes down for Rio Grande. Catherine in a little bit of trouble. She's going to be able to boots out of that. But that's a pretty... I'd say that's a pretty worth trade for Arlington. That's a tier 3 turret at before 8 minutes. That's like the Saw dream, guys. Like, all he's doing is sitting in lane farming and pushing. he got ganked once, but since then he's had support from his team, and his team has just been able to just keep him safe while he just sits there and blows up towers, because that's what he does. He saw it gets that spin up going and that extra attack speed, and he's just off to the races in damage pretty much. Gwen is still struggling. She only has a Sorrow Blade, whereas this Saw has a Sorrow Blade and a Tyrant's Monocle already completed. It's 81 to 47 in farm there, and the jungle is about even, at least. That's a little bit of a saving grace for Rio Grande, but this huge gold lead that they that Arlington has is just going to turn into a lot of problems here. It seems like there goes the Yummy Catnip Frenzy again down onto the Batiste. He finally gets taken out after Saw rotates down and gets a couple auto attacks in. And now Koshka's onto that Gwen. Gwen goes up to Ace's High. It does not connect onto the Koshka this time, as Catherine is able to get in front of it and body block it. But Saw, minion candies and pushing. That's what he's still doing. Getting up into Rio Grande's base. They're gonna try and go for more. This is gonna be a little bit risky, because once you're inside a base like this early, the respawn timers are really fast, and it can cause a lot of problems. But Gwen walking back and forth next to the Saw there, definitely something you don't want to do is be in range of Saw when he's fully spun up if you're not carrying some heavy defense or lots of health or something, because here comes this push. With that Gwen dead, they can definitely take out another turret. The Fearsome Shade comes out, hits all three members of Arlington, and they are able to get a kill. Batiste with a really good play there with his ultimate, able to hit all three members, save the turret, which was taking a lot of damage, but also able to get a kill on the Catherine, forcing Arlington back to base. We'll see what Saw picks up next. Looks like he's going to go for some defense, but kind of buying them time. Something that is much needed for Rio Grande right here is they need to get these items up, and they need to engage all together. This is going to be a really complicated thing to do, as Arlington has pretty much been together the entire time. And the Saw is quite a bit, again, like we mentioned before, quite a bit ahead of the Gwen. But with the right CC, with a good Gauntlet and a good Fearsome Shade, I really feel that Rio Grande would be able to take this fight to Arlington and take it fairly cleanly. Batiste Arden is a fairly good combo. Like, if you can get them to either have to Crucible early or something like that to block a Gauntlet, or to Crucible to rock the Fearsome Shade and then Gauntlet, you can land some decent CC, and then kind of Saw is very susceptible to that, and they can probably blow them up pretty fast. I mean, Gwen does a lot of burst damage, and so does Batiste, so there's still hope here. They just gotta find the right engagement, it feels like. But here comes Arlington with the push again. They're not even worried about gold miners or nothing. They're just here to push turrets. And again, this is a little bit of a risky thing to do once you're inside the enemy base with such short cooldown timers. If they're able to pick off another kill here, they might get another turret, or they might overextend. So we'll see how it goes here. Excuse me, as the standoff begins. The wave clear is attempting to happen for Rio Grande, but here comes the push in. Captain takes a little bit of damage. The stun comes out. It does get blocked up, and it looks like almost dead is Saw, but he doesn't die. The fountain comes out and keeps him alive for just a minute, but then he eventually does go down. The aggro, or the focus from Rio Grande was on a couple different targets there, so it took a little bit longer to finish somebody, but they do end up getting both carries there. They lose another turret, which is pretty bad at this point because they only have one left, but they do get 2 kills. They don't lose anybody, and it's a positive gain overall in gold, but they really need to find a way to not lose their last turret if they're gonna fight like that again, because once that Vein Crystal's open, the game gets a lot more complicated just because of backdoor potential and stuff like that. Take a look at the items that we got going here. Shatterglass second coming out for that Koshka, as well as a it looks like Saw just got a reflex block and is going to go towards another crit item as well. And no clockwork for this Batiste, which is a little weird. He has an Eve of Harvest as his second CP item. That's kind of a new one for me. I haven't seen too many Eve of Harvest on Batiste, but we'll see how it goes. It looks like Arlington back to their old ways here, getting the minion wave moving, and they have a contraption now, so they can be able to control this vision, and that's something they should really abuse. And it looks like they are going to take the time to take out the gold miner as well. There was a scout trap on the Catherine, so Rio Grande should know about this, but I don't think they have any real way to respond. So another 400 gold for each member of Arlington coming out. I was wondering when it was going to happen, because that gold mine is pretty much a free take in a lot of instances once you have so many turrets dead. And they kind of waited on it. They wanted to keep pushing, and they finally realized that maybe just running it down mid wasn't going to work as much. So they'll just take the gold elite. They'll continue to take more gold advantages and move forward. And it looks like they're wanting to take a fight now. Arlington moving relatively close to the members of Rio Grande, but Rio Grande again kind of sheepish almost in this fight. They don't want to fight. They know they're behind, but again, if they get a good engage, they can make things work. They have a lot of stuns. They need to start poking here and clearing this wave out, though. Otherwise, they're gonna have a hard time defending this turret. They really can't afford to give it up. Be interesting to see who wants to go in here first. It doesn't look like either team wants to commit. We'll see. There is a Crucible already out, so there's no reason to throw a Gauntlet immediately. But here comes Arlington with the push saw, trying to get on the turret. The Yummy Cabinet Frenzy comes out on the Batiste. Lots of damage opening up on him. Looks like Saw wasn't able to be fully spun up on that, but he does get the turret. Fear comes out. Fearsome Shade is on there, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to kill the Nexus Crystal. I'm sorry, wrong game. They're going to kill the Vein Crystal. And Arlington, with a simple Saw push strategy, able to take game 1 here over Rio Grande Valley. And that was kind of an interesting game. Like, there felt like there were a couple rotations that needed to happen earlier for the Rio Grande, but they gave up so many turrets so early. It just becomes so hard to deal with a Saw in that instance. And the Catherine was there to stun people if anybody wanted to go in, and Koshka just waited until the right times to buy time, basically, just so Saw could push. And it worked out almost swimmingly for Arlington here. So we'll see here what both teams have in store next, as we are going to move into game 2 here, hopefully shortly. So we'll see how that goes. But Arlington executing the push strategy almost flawlessly. I mean, they only lost a couple. They only gave up a couple kills, but that gold lead was very solid throughout the entire game. So we'll see what it's like here in the next game as we get set up for that one, guys. I'm going to toss it over to the schedule here so you guys can keep on looking at what's going on. And I'll let you know once we get into the next game, guys. Just kidding, guys. It looks like everyone is almost all ready to go right away. This is a rarity. Sometimes people like to take a break, get a drink, stuff like that. But we'll see what it's like. Looks like everybody said those were ready, but now we're not starting. So we'll see. Let me get the draft score set up here for that Arlington victory so that we know, or everyone knows, that Arlington is leading by 1 after that first game. So that one's ready, and that one, there we go. All right, maybe people were thinking about it. I thought we were good to go, and now everybody's not. Feels bad, man. Alright, cool. There they go. Should be getting in draft here in just a minute, guys. And we're going to have a side switch. So we're going to have Arlington on the red side, or B side this time. And Rio Grande will be on the blue side with first ban and first pick here. So we'll see how the bans go this time. Are they going to try and ban Saw? I mean, they didn't seem to fully grasp how to you know, work around them. But it looks like they're just going to ban Rhyme. Very typical ban to go with. Rhyme is extremely strong right now in the current meta. And we'll see what Arlington wants to ban here this time. Taking their time on this ban too. They played the Catherine last time, and I believe, I don't remember who they banned. There was a weird ban that wasn't normal. They're going to ban the Saw this time. They end up banning, they played Saw, but this time they ban it. That's kind of an interesting take on it, but it works. That's the one that we forgot was the Blackfeather that made it through last time, and they give over Blackfeather first pick to the side of Rio Grande. This is probably, want to say, by far the most pick ban champion right now, I feel like. Because almost everybody wants Blackfeather. The changes to how health works and stuff like that really benefited him, and he has been nothing but, like, they had to nerf him a couple times. That's how strong he was. But it looks like Arlington is going to take up the Catherine as their pick again. Very comfortable on that pick, using those stuns to make plays and buy time for their carries as well. And Jewel is going to come out as the second pick here for Arlington. That's going to be an interesting pick. I'm assuming it's going to go in the lane to go against the Blackfeather, kind of able to withstand his damage. A good pick up against the Blackfeather for sure. So good counter pick so far by Arlington. We'll see how this goes. An Adagio coming out here for Rio Grande. We'll see if that's a captain or if they're going to try and switch things up here and put that Blackfeather in the jungle and maybe carry with that Adagio. Lots of options here for him. Scrubbing deck, going to be the last one to pick here. We'll see what they decide to go to round out their team here. I feel like that might be a captain Adagio, so we'll see how it goes. 3 seconds left on the pick, and the glaive comes out, so that should be a captain Adagio. They still have the opportunity to use it as a carry, though, because glaive can also be used as a captain. So it'll be kind of interesting to see there. Last pick for Arlington. They're going to probably be looking for someone in the jungle to use here. There maybe an Alpha? Yeah, I was thinking Alpha, and it does come out. Alpha is going to be the pickup here with the Rhyme ban, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, guys. We have Arlington is on the right side here. This graphic is a little bit off, but Arlington with the 1-0 lead here against Rio Grande Valley. And they're bringing out the Jewel Alpha Catherine here to see if they're going to be able to put it out. We'll see. We'll see how this game goes. I'm kind of leaning towards Arlington's draft. I feel like they have a really good draft, and that might just be because I feel like glaive is a lot weaker than he used to be. But we'll see how it goes. Arlington has a fairly straight tank draft, it feels, or a fairly straightforward draft that I feel like would fit in this meta with good counter picks. Whereas hopefully for the side of Rio Grande Valley, these are more, I don't know, comfort pits, or more, they felt like a little, I don't know how to describe it. They felt a little, like I said, sheepish during the cast earlier. They just felt a little wary of everything. They were almost afraid to take fights and things like that. But we'll see how it goes here. They're grouping up as 3 again. They might try and take those Elder Treants and move on really fast. Looks like Arlington's gonna start the backs with their captain, while Jewel is gonna kind of poke out to see what Rio Grande is doing. We normally see the captain doing the scouting here, but it doesn't look like that's the case. As Arlington and Rio Grande doing the same thing as they both did last time. Arlington starting their own backs, while Rio Grande starts their front minions and then goes for that Elder Treant right away. Blackfeather was in lane this time, though, so he has a little bit of a push advantage, but that shouldn't last very long, to be honest, against a Jewel. Jewel has that AoE damage to go with. And we'll see how things go when people want to fight and things like that. We'll see. Alpha normally wants to wait till she has that Aftershock. She does so much damage with it. But with the Initiation Protocol, you can really force fights a lot of the time with an Alpha as well if you wanted to. So we'll see how it goes. Looks like Arlington putting the Catherine in lane, just gonna sit there and babysit the Jewel, whereas Arito on this Adagio staying with the jungler for a little bit to try and get stuff in there. Here comes the afterburn. He doesn't land the knockback until probably half a second afterwards. He got stunned by the Merciless Pursuit, which buys Catherine enough time to get that Stormguard off and keep herself alive. I feel like she could have been in a lot more trouble there. Also having to pop that flask to stay healthy. So a decent rotation out of Rio Grande, showing some life, and they're going to go straight away for the second Elder. But Alpha is over here. Family seeing this happening, he does get the steal on it, and he is an Alpha, so he does have that passive where he does reboot. So we'll see if he wants to continue the issue or press the issue, but he didn't right away. But with Catherine here and Jewel, this is definitely going to be a good fight for them. Stun goes out on Glaive. Glaive's down, and now Adagio's all by himself. What a great rotation. The Jewel coming down from lane after pushing it in, able to get that collapse onto both Scrubbing Deck and Arito, and it sets up for an easy 2 kills for the side of UT Arlington. And now they're going to do exactly what they need to do, which is take full jungle control of Rio Grande jungle, clearing it out in its entirety after taking 2 kills. This is going to be a rough spot for this Glaive to be in. Glaive used to be probably one of the premier picks for jungle, but with the recent changes and patches and stuff like that, I feel like he's fallen off quite a bit. And with an instance like this where, oh, here comes the Afterburn out, they're going to do some damage here, but Glaive not moving towards him and not putting that extra damage in, and Jewel's just going to rocket leap away and get out of there. That I felt like that should have been a much easier secured kill from the side of Rio Grande. But unfortunately, they a little bit off pace there. I mean, I guess he was expecting the Jewel to jump away into his own brush, but it's not what happens. And heads up play from there keeps Jewel alive and healthy, and keep farming. But as I was saying about the Glaive, like, I feel like he's a lot stronger, or a lot weaker than he used to be. But he's also, you know, when you're behind like this, it's even more exemplifies that fact that he is already behind this Alpha, and he's gonna struggle for that for a while, because this Alpha already has the Aftershock up and ready to go, whereas our Glaive still hasn't pulled out that tension bow yet because of being so far behind on farm. Catherine sitting with the Jewel again, really pushing into this Black Feather. This is why I kind of praise them for this pick. This Jewel doesn't really have many issues against the Black Feather early on, and it is a CP Black Feather, so eventually he'll do a lot of poke damage, but we'll see how it goes. Afterburn coming out, the collapse coming in from Rio Grande. Catherine's the target, but it looks like a lot of damage going on to the Glaive, gonna deter them off from trying to kill that Catherine. She already popped her flash, so she's able to keep herself alive there, but there is no fountain on the side of Arlington yet, so she's gonna have to recall and go buy that. So 2k gold lead at about 5 minutes here is a nice thing for Arlington to be sitting on top of. That full jungle clear or take, and those 2 kills have really boosted them into this lead here, and we'll see if they're able to keep it going, or if Arlington are going to be able to make one of these ganks with the Afterburn work. Nothing too crazy going on here. No vision from either side yet either here, as they both sit across the brushes from each other. There's some vision, some defensive vision from the side of Rio Grande, as I kind of fudge the camera here a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. It's kind of a interesting thing to do here occasionally with this camera. My camera's all messed up, guys. I apologize. I'm not the tilt zoom master yet, as I should be on the side of Big Glory. So I'm trying to get this thing to reset, but I can't get it to reset right now, and I don't know why. There we go. There we go. Afterburn comes in, hits him the wrong way. Jewel able to get out of that one with relative ease. Why am I having so many problems with moving this camera? There we go. I got this, I got this, I got this. Alright, cool. That's a little bit better, guys. Now you can actually see the game like a normal person again. So Arlington keeping the pressure up here, it looks like. They haven't, obviously not having a saw, they're not really focused on turret, push the lane turrets, but, you know, they are keeping that gold lead. It is growing slightly. They're up to almost 2.5k now. So the gold lead is showing in lane now more, as Jewel is able to bully that Blackfeather out of lane. It looks like another Afterburn coming in again onto the Catherine, not the target they want to do, and the ultimate from the Adagio comes out, and it's not even going to be even close to connecting. Kind of an awkward engage there. Jewel uses that big red button to kind of deter them and clear the wave, but the Afterburn uses have been okay. Like, they're doing the ganks they need to do. They're just not getting the right target. Like, you can jump away with a Jewel, and that's a hard thing to deal with that Rocket Leap, but hitting Catherine is definitely not a good idea. And then speaking of Rocket Leap, the initiation protocol from the Alpha followed by the Rocket Leap from the Jewel just blows up the Blackfeather that was not ready for it and did not have a stack of Rose Offensive up to get out of it. And looks like Rio Grande are going to be in a hard spot to try and defend this turret as Jewel just moves in and uses that Thunderstrike to keep doing tons of damage to the turret. Here comes the leap in. Is he going to be able to get two here? Oh, it looked like he was going to go in for more. Alpha looking like she wants to go in as well, but Arlington, I feel like they could probably have gone in there and gotten at least one more kill, and no one would have been at risk at all to dying, but playing it safe, taking the turret, and then clearing the enemy jungle as best they can. And unfortunately for the side of Rio Grande, that is a fountain that was just picked up by Adagio, and the only reason I say unfortunately is because it is 8 minutes into the game, so they did not have a fountain for that last fight, and they kind of a huge thing to not have, to be honest. Very rough to deal with, especially when you're this far behind, especially waiting the 8 minutes. I felt like he probably had the gold for it sooner. They weren't able to recall and make their purchases. And here comes Rio Grande rotating up. They get spotted out by the flare. The stun comes out again, or the Afterburn comes out again, but it goes on to the Catherine once again, not doing a whole lot. And Jewel jumps in for the counter engage, trying to do a bunch of damage here. Big red button comes out. It's a weapon powered Jewel, so it doesn't do that much damage, but it is enough to deter Rio Grande away, it looks like, as Alpha makes the roam upwards. Alpha doesn't have a second tier 3 item, offensive item that is, yet, but she is getting relatively close to it. She looks like she might. It'll be interesting to see what she decides to pick up as her next item, if it's going to be a Shatterglass or something else. She does have some armor there to help keep her alive against that glaive as well. Kind of playing a safer game here, it feels, from Arlington. They're all in they're all together. They've all bought some defense. There's even a reflex block already on that Jewel, which is a good thing to have against the glaive. But they're playing calm and collectively is the only way to say, yeah. Also, thank you for the heads up for the double tap on the map. I knew there was a way to fix it, but I didn't remember how to do it. So I have fixed it slightly already though, but it looks like Arlington still relatively content to play this kind of safer pace from the last game. Last game was a little bit faster pace with the Saw and Lane just non-stop pushing. This time with the Jewel not able to do as hard of pushing, they're kind of calm and collectively taking as much farm as they can in lane and jungle and everything like that. And here comes a Rocket Leap out onto the glaive. The Versa Judgment comes out from the Adagio. Doesn't do a whole lot. No one got stunned, it looked like. A bunch of people low on the side of Rio Grande, but Blackfeather able to get out. Adagio in a lot of trouble, but the initiation protocol comes in and Alpha picks up 2. And here comes the ulti from Alpha. They're going to go for the last kill and get the ace. It doesn't look like this. Alpha is tanking it while she's dead. Unfortunately, the turret's going to take her out with those multiple shots, but they are going to get the turret and 2 kills. Not a bad thing for Arlington to pick up. I mean, they do lose the Alpha, but it's kind of worth. Again, 2 kills in a turret is nothing to be sad about getting. So yeah, we should have the camera all reset and fixed now, guys. So thank you for that. Sorry about that. So I just feel like Rio Grande has had a hard time this entire game with finding the right engagements, but also not getting caught out. Like, Jewel knew Glaive was there and just opened up on him, it felt like, and they saw him go in, and here comes the Afterburn again. This time it does land on the Jewel, but this Glaive doesn't have the defense to take on this Jewel at this point. It just gets blown up. This is a 2v3. This is just Jewel and Catherine running at the University of Rio Grande. And here comes Alpha to help clean up one of the kills onto the Adagio, as Blackfeather runs for the hills because there's almost nothing left he could do there. When he almost died to the big red button from the Jewel, to be honest. So let's see. No second item coming out from this Alpha still has 2200 gold and hasn't bought yet. Felt like she should probably have that already, but we'll see how it goes, because she has a lot of gold. Alpha's gonna do quite a bit, I feel like, here once that second tier 3 item comes out. And Jewel going the Sorrow Blade crit build. Tornado Trigger already finished. The Lucky Strike to follow it as well. There's going to be lots of crits coming out from that Jewel here shortly. There is finally armor from all the members of Rio Grande, but like I said, the Glaive, with how he was changed and being behind so much early, he's just going to struggle. And they're going to continue to struggle until they can either make a pick, or I feel like they need more items. They need to try and just farm as best they can, because every time they've tried to make an engage, it's just been flopped on its head almost every single time by the side of Arlington. And this Jewel is just massive at this point. The CS lead in lane is 135 to 74, so, and then the 71 to 44 in the jungle. Arlington is kicking on all cylinders here, and they're gonna definitely go for this gold mine to increase their lead even more. And we're at just under 14 minutes, and there's almost a 10,000 gold lead here for the side of University of Arlington. Much better. It seems like they have much better team play and cohesion in comparison to the side of Rio Grande, and they've been able to use the plays they made as a team, but also their rotations and their own farming to be able to get a sizable lead here. They take out another sentry here, and it looks like they want to take the fight, but I don't think there's enough damage on the side of Rio Grande, and they're just getting blown up. Burst of Judgment hits, but it got blocked out, so no one got stunned. No one's dead yet, though, and Alpha already used her ulti. It looks like Arlington trying to chase for kills here, and they will get one on the Adagio. But that was kind of a late kind of engage from the side of Rio Grande. They went in as their sentry was dying, so they didn't have that advantage in that fight. So it puts them in a situation where they're 10,000 gold behind. That's not an even fight, and they're trying to open up here on the Catherine. Catherine's really low, going low, but they actually turn on the Glaive, and Glaive just gets blown up by the Alpha and the Jewel, and Blackfeather will follow as well. They barely get the ace off before the Adagio respawns, and this might be game. With the ace buff minions, Arlington should be able to close this out pretty easily. They're just so far ahead, and I have no idea what the side of Rio Grande could do to make this comeback. They need to take a fight right here, right now, and they need to get a kill quickly. They go onto the Catherine, not the target you wanted to go on. Alpha, with her ulti back up, is ready to go. Jewel now taking damage after finally taking out that turret, but Alpha used her ulti there to try and fight, and this is the first sign of kind of not on the same page from the University of Texas Arlington, as Jewel went for the turret and the kill as Alpha tried to fight, and it's probably one of their first mistakes this game, and it's not going to cost them too much, because they were able to take out that last turret from the side of Rio Grande, and they're over 10,000 gold ahead now. This next push should be relatively unstoppable from them. They could probably take Kraken at any point in time if they want as well. So it's going to be a rock and a hard place is where Rio Grande is right now. I don't think they have the right amount of damage to take a straight 3v3 fight, but they also don't have any vision of what's going on the map, as Mikey Tang has been all over the place with this contraption. His vision is Yeah, it could probably be a little bit better, but it's still really good vision. He's got all the mines or all the scout traps needed where he needs to, and there's no way that Rio Grande can move in here without being seen. So Jewel looks like she's gonna buy the infuse, and Alpha running in forward. That's an odd time to pop your ulti as an Alpha before you could even initiate on someone, but no Alpha ulti now. This could open up a door for the side of Rio Grande, but we'll see. Doesn't look like they want to press it at all. They don't have any flares on the side of their Adagio either, so they're gonna walk into this bush and get caught out. It feels like this Adagio, Alpha or Initiation Protocol does miss there, but not mattering too much as Catherine already landed the stun onto the Adagio, and looks like the final push might be coming here from the side of Arlington. They are firmly in the lead. They have a 3v2 and an open vein crystal. So here it goes. Jewel gets knocked away, just rocket leaps back in, starts hitting the vein crystal. They are focusing this Jewel, and she is dying relatively fast, but the vein crystal still died faster, and that's going to be a clean 2-0 sweep for the side of UT Arlington today, guys, over the side of UT Rio Grande Valley. The battle of the Texas schools shows that one of our newcomers in the side of Rio Grande Valley unable to stand up to the prowess or the the experience of a side like UT Arlington. Arlington, again, been around since 2015. These players have been doing this probably a little bit longer than the side of Rio Grande Valley. So they showing their skills off there and taking the clean 2-0, guys. That makes them 2-0 on the season and sitting pretty. We'll see how they play up against the University of Houston and stuff later on. But they showed two different strats. They used Catherine in both games, which is kind of a theme, it seems like. Everybody still likes Catherine and feels that she's really strong. But two relatively different strats, straight push strat and then the Jewel counter pick to the Black Feather. Really clean stuff from Arlington. I'm relatively impressed. I'm excited to see them play later on this season against maybe a school that might have a little bit more experience like Houston or something like that, to see how well they can actually use their strategies and their skills to continue on this season. As for the side of Rio Grande, I feel like they just need a little bit more practice. They had the right idea with a lot of rotations from the glaive. They just were unable to capitalize on a lot of those instances with landing the afterburn onto the Catherines and just not having the right amount of damage to follow it up with. It's kind of a demoralizing loss to lose 2-0 sometimes, but I feel like if they get a little bit more practice, Rio Grande definitely has the ability, it seems like, to play at a much higher level than they might have shown today. They definitely have the tools there. They just need to iron out some of those wrinkles, it seems like. But again, guys, let's throw up the schedule here. It looks like our match for next week, unfortunately, was changed. So I don't know who is playing next week at all. They're both TBA. I'm assuming it's because of schools not being able to make it, because that's normally the case. But guys, don't forget to follow us, Collegiate Star League or CSL Vainglory on Twitter, to keep up to date on those matches and stuff like that. And we will announce those before they happen, so that everyone knows on what's going on. All right. So just be heads up on that, and hopefully we'll get some good games. I was kind of looking forward to that rematch from the finals last year, but it looks like that's not going to be able to come out and happen. So hopefully we'll have what matches will happen here next week for you guys sooner rather than later. But just like I said, keep an eye on that CSL Vainglory Twitter and on the channel as well, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. But again, one more thing, guys. Last thing before we go, I'm SRuff. You can follow me on Twitter at the SRuff, or on Twitch. It's just SRuff on Twitch. I'm a Vainglory streamer. I play way too much of this game, and I enjoyed it immensely. So it's awesome. But again, huge shout out to Twitch for everything they do for CSL. We wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today without them, probably. So thank you, Twitch. Follow them on Twitter, twitter.com/Twitch, and Facebook, facebook.com/Twitch as well. And I will probably see you guys next time. Like I said, well, I mean, not probably. I'm always here. I enjoy this. It's fun. But we'll see you guys next time, and we'll see how everything goes. So just keep an eye out on that Twitter, and we'll let you guys know what's happening next time. GG's to both the University of Texas Arlington for taking the 2-0 victory over the University of Texas Rio Grande. GG's to both teams, and we'll see you guys next time.